Jeffries, and Matt Pangrak. BTL is brought to you by Lowrance, Lose, Strike King Lures, Bass Cat Boats, Ducket Fishing, Spro, AFCO, Sunline, and TH Marine. BTL coming at you. Good Monday, everybody. Welcome once again to BTL Bass Talk Live, where we're going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Matthew, did you have a good weekend, man?
Oh, I had a very good weekend, Mark.
Very nice. Would you care to share?
No, I had the Poe Dunkers Winter League Championship. I know that everyone was anxiously awaiting the results of that 10-boat tournament on Swebco Lake in Arkansas.
10 boats.
You remember on Wednesday, we did have a show Wednesday, right?
Yes, we did.
What is today, Monday? Yeah,
actually, we had
Monday.
A Friday show.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
That
was why. That's why it was throwing me off. It didn't seem right. Anyway, I said it was impossible to find parking at this place. I got to the ramp at 3:45 a.m. I'll tell the story in less than a minute. Supposed to take off at 7. Tournament director knocks on the window at 6. So I've had the boat in the water for 2 hours, taking a nap. He said, "Hey, everyone's here. We're going to let you go early."
10 boats, right?
Right. And I knew where I wanted to go, and they were calling about, so I had to scramble to get down in the boat and stuff. So we're taking off over there, and I'm like, I don't really remember where my phone is. And I open up the little middle console and the links. Phone's not there. So anyway, I get there. I smash them in the first period because it's every fish counts. You have the little score tracker app. I'll have a video of the whole thing on the BTL YouTube channel next week. And so I catch him. And towards the end of the first period, I'm like, that's starting to bug me that I don't know where my phone is. I said, I don't remember leaving it in the truck, but I remember getting it ready for the 7 a.m. takeoff, but then we took off at 6. So I called the tournament director. I said, hey, can I go up and check in my truck, get out? He's like, well, dude, there's 10 boats in this. You can pretty much do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
So at the end of the first period, I go up, park the boat, it's a small lake, and I walk up there, and it's light now. And my wallet is open on the ground next to my truck with a 20 halfway sticking out of it. My phone and a pair of AFCO gloves are sitting on the bed of the truck, and it's just been sitting there for the past 2.5 hours. So I knew right then it was going to be a good day. So I scooped it all up, went back down, and then fished carefree the rest of the day.
Your wallet's laying on
the
boat
ground,
ramp.
on the boat ramp next to the truck. It's Siloam Springs, Arkansas for 3 hours where probably 30, 40 guys have walked past it. Not a single person touched it. So
my gosh.
That was the start of the day. I caught it right off the hopper, saved the wallet, the phone, ended up winning the thing.
Did you buy a lottery ticket?
No, I didn't.
Did you go to the casino?
No.
You should have.
I know.
That was your day.
Anyway.
So, good stuff. So what ended up happening?
I power pulled down in the only cast where they were biting and caught 25 pounds of the first quarter, that sucked the next 2, but everyone else sucked for all 3 quarters. So I had the thing sewn up in the first period.
Very nice.
Got the dub.
Very nice.
1 for
what
1.
What was the water temp?
61 degrees.
Were they running?
Yes.
Running power.
Yeah. Not full on, but 61, 55. I went and looked for some bedding fish.
Nothing.
I couldn't see. It was a little bit murky. I guess they'd had a bunch of rain and some of that snow, so it was good. I enjoyed it. So.
All right, great stuff.
What about you?
We lost in overtime on Friday night. Dude, just ridiculous. Some kid hit a 3 with 5.4 left, and then we just couldn't do anything in overtime. Lost by 2. Anyway, playoffs start not this week, but next week, and we already know who we're playing in the playoffs, so we'll see what happens. All right, good show today. We're going to have Chris Lane on live via Skype from Lake Eufalua, and we had a discussion prior to the show. Is it Eufaula Lake? Is it Lake Eufalua? We have a Lake Eufalua here in Oklahoma.
It's Lake Eufalua, according to the MLF website.
Yeah.
It is a bloodbath for Oklahoma anglers. Would you not think, okay, here's the deal, that they've got, this is the 4th day of competition, the group, Group A has already fished 2 days. Brian Thrift wins. Oh, big surprise there. Group B is currently fishing right now.
Yeah.
But Lake Eufalua, early spring, muddy water, rising water, spinnerbait bite, chatterbait bite, would you not think that the 2-pound minimum, would you not think that the Oklahoma guys would like maybe catch a bass or two?
You would think.
Listen to this. In Group A, this is the worst tournament day I think I've ever seen for tournaments. In Group A, you have, out of 40, Biffle finished in 38th, Crete finished in 37th, Elam finished in 31st, and where was Rambanis in this one? So anyway, all Oklahoma. So in
he's
this
not
one,
an Oklahoma guy.
well, yes, he is.
No, he's
You know,
Arkansas.
Arkansas now. But okay, so then in the other group, Jason Christie, 0. He's still waiting to try to catch his first fish. And Zach Burge in 23rd.
So Burge was the highest finishing Oklahoma angler.
Yeah.
Out of that group.
And Christie hasn't caught a fish yet.
Wow. Yeah, that is some tough fishing right there.
Shocking.
Very tough.
To me.
Oh, totally shocked.
Everyone's caught giants in practice.
Now, how much did you watch over the weekend?
I watched a lot of the first day of competition with the Chris Lane and Faircloth stuff, and then I watched nothing yesterday because I was fishing.
Obviously.
And it was all over.
Well, you could have just ordered a pizza and watched the little stuff on your cell phone that you went back to the ramp and found with your wallet.
Yeah, how about that? Have you ever done that?
No.
I mean, it was just laying
Dude, I
out
lost
in the
$500
open.
one time at a department store in Orange County when I was in high school. And I went back and I thought, okay, somebody's really going to be nice and turn this. No.
You're in Orange County, though.
No, exactly.
So I just don't know if anyone didn't see it. I mean, it was open, laying on the ground. It was crazy. So the other derby that's going on is the AFCO kickoff tournament on the Elite Series. Which
Mr. Mueller.
Now turned into a 2.5-day tournament after two days of canceled weather. So the top 20 guys battling it out. If you're listening on iTunes, you probably already know who won that tournament.
At the SJR.
Yep, but it's coming down to a jerkbait specialist, an electronics specialist, a bait company owner, and Patrick Walters and Jake Whitaker.
Yeah. A lot of guys struggled, man, in both tours. A lot of big names.
Yeah. Obviously, most notably would be the 80th place finish for Chris Zaldane to kick things off. I mean, we talked about the top 10s that he ended the year with.
Yeah.
Rick Klon, who'd won the last 2 times they were there, finished in 75th place in that. Chris Johnson, who obviously is a threat for the Angler of the Year with as many Northern tournaments, 71st. Seth Fider, 67th.
Yeah.
Corey Johnson, 55th. Swindle, 52nd. Polinick's still fishing today.
Yeah.
So guys there said they super happy.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the heck out of it. So
On to the chick.
I will say, did you watch any of the MLF?
Yeah.
2-pound minimum New Year, guys in studio.
I think it made a difference. The 2-pound minimum made a difference, man. Agree or disagree?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I liked watching it. Now, it helps. They got kind of a North Carolina thing going right now where they're not catching many small fish.
Yeah.
But, dude, it was badass watching Chris skip those fish across the mats, watching guys throw back 114s.
Yeah.
You didn't see. I think I watched, Wheeler catch a couple on a spinning rod and some of the highlights. But, I mean, guys were big fish fishing.
Yeah. Power fishing, man.
Yeah.
Power fishing. All right. I want to let you know the remainder of the week. Tomorrow we're going to have Cliff Prince on live from the Chick, live via Skype, hopefully. If not, he'll be on the phone, kind of talk about the SJR, talk about his first day of practice at the Chick. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have Al McCullough on. Yes, the list is going to be out very, very soon, the first 10 anglers. And Al is going to announce the first 10 anglers for the NPFL.
Do you have the list?
I do.
You've looked at it?
Yeah.
Any recognizable names?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How many did you recognize?
I just scanned it real quick. 2 or 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Like guys who you'd be like, oh, that's a good name. That's a big get.
I was.
Oh, you've got me intrigued,
I was
Mark.
somewhat shocked.
Are you going to tell me during
no.
the No? I'm going to have to wait till Wednesday?
Sorry, dude. I've been sworn to secrecy. Not going to say a word.
Do you have to sign a non-disclosure? Virtually?
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, I've got phone numbers. We're going to try and get one of the guys on the list along with
guys
Al
who have won stuff
on Wednesday.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll see on Wednesday what Al has to say about the first 10 names, and then hopefully we're going to have one of those guys from that list of 10. All right, big weekend in the world of bowling. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but you're going to have to live with it. When was it? 2 weeks ago, Matthew?
That we had Jimmy and Kris Prather in studio? Yeah, and Kris Prather, according to Jeffries, has the most purest form in the history of professional bowling.
Pretty much. And the man got it done. His first major this past weekend. National TV exposure, not on Fox Sports, Matthew, but on the main Fox channel, the Tournament of Champions, a grueling event, 48 games over 4 days. And Kris Prather shoots 280 in the championship match, comes from the number 5 position. And let me just get this queued up here.
What is that equivalent to, Mark? What is this win equivalent to in the bass fishing world?
I would say if you go back here, let me get this queued up real quick.
Like one of the majors in 06, 07?
Yeah. It's not a Bassmaster Classic, but it's pretty doggone close, dude. And he battled, and my phone was blowing up, man. There was a lot of people texting me saying, hey, I saw Kris Prather on Fox. How cool is that? There you look at his form on his way to his 280 game there in the championship match.
So he's calm. He's cool. He's collected.
Yeah.
He's not a screamer like he's not.
There's the cup right there. Oh, he got fired up in some of the matches, but...
Do you think he will let Jimmy Houston drink out of that cup when they go fishing?
Actually, I was talking to Jimmy once the match was complete, and he was actually going to reach out for Kris and congratulate Kris on his major. And he's got 2 victories on the PBA Tour, dude. Both of them $100,000, but that's his first major. And so happy for him. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there that got exposed to bowling before. Because, dude, it was prime time. The other big event that took place over the weekend, the launch of the XFL. And it was really cool to see the amount of people that reached out to me when Kris Prather made obviously television, but to go on and win the Tournament of Champions. Rich heritage. The bowling center that they were bowling at, Riviera Lanes, dude, that's like Lake Gunnersville.
Really? Yeah, I got some messages too, like, hey, that dude you had in studio a couple weeks ago, I'm watching him on TV, he just won. Jeffries has to be pumped.
Yeah, it was really cool. Even some people on the instant feedback said it was cool to watch him and to watch him on Fox.
So what's okay, so let's compare this. You got bowling on Fox. They've got this deal.
Yeah.
They've got this. They had a Go Bowling in the background, right?
Yes.
So they're obviously hoping that people who get whatever, 8, 10, anybody who has a TV that could have it on Fox sees that. They see the Go Bowling. They go to their local lanes. They join a bowling club. They start bowling. Or Kris is hoping that the bowlers buy the ball that he was rolling. I saw he had some social media posts, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to do the same thing, basically expand there like MLF is doing with it being on CBS.
I think it's bigger.
The bowling is?
Yeah, I really do, because it's much easier to watch that. I told you the story. That's how I got into it. You know, when I was a kid, I saw it on television. I was like, hey, Mom, I want to go do that. You know, I was like 5 years old. Hey, can we go do that? So I think it's bigger because I think the reach, the availability. I also think that the amount of money that it costs compared to doing what we do. And I'm not talking at a tournament level. I mean, if somebody sees, bass or Major League Fishing on television, is that going to entice them to go fishing? Yeah, I think so. But what are they going to do? They're probably going to go out and, do a little bank fishing, or maybe they'll hire a guide. I don't know. It's much easier to just see bowling on television and go, hey, let's go bowl a couple games. You get in the car, you get in the truck, you go to the bowling center, you have a pizza.
It's way easier to bowl and cheaper to bowl than to go fish.
Yeah. So I think that's a big challenge. The economic demographic that they're trying. I think they're trying to capture both groups, but at the same time, you have an enormous outpouring of expense as you advance with fishing compared to bowling. So we'll see here. Speaking of which, Matthew, I have looky there. Folks, you can't see it, obviously.
It's
but
a lot of small print.
that is a novel that was sent to me by Mr. Kevin Youngblunt.
I believe he's the guy who won the
Yeah.
HDS, Lowrance HDS Live 12 in the giveaway that Jeffrey's had on Friday.
And I just want to read this real quick.
The whole thing?
No, it's not that long. It really isn't that long. It says, Mark, my son is fed, haircut, bathed, and in bed, and I would like to reply to you a little bit better email than the one I scratched out on my phone at the gas station waiting on my pizza.
Was he like, dude, that's me. I
Yeah.
won. Don't
He
give
was
it to
listening to
anyone
it.
else.
Yeah. It says, rewind to the announcement of the awesome Lowrance giveaway from the iTunes listeners. What? I want to enter. I use Windows and Android, but I wanted a chance. I've listened to other podcasts in the past, and they have asked for the same thing. Even this fall when you had giveaways for the other reviews that I did not enter, but this was the last straw. Somehow, some way, I was going to figure out how to get an Apple account. By the way, it's not that easy, but I figured it out. I even shared my daily struggle with my wife and coworkers on how hard it was to go to iTunes for a non-Apple user. I kind of get that a little bit. So that I did eventually figure it out, and it wasn't that bad once I figured it out.
This is like the tournament winning strategy that you're reading. This is like the game plan.
I know. All right. He says, I cannot say enough about how much I like the daily banter between you and Matt, or as you like to say, Matthew. I'm also on board with the K-chain. He likes the K-chain for the Kissimmee chain.
Okay.
All right.
Hallman wasn't really sold on that.
Nah.
Anyway,
whatever.
continue.
I like it. I work in extended...
Sounds like a SoundCloud rapper's name, but continue.
K-chain.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
That's
I
what it
bet
is.
there is a rapper out there called
Pop up.
K-chain.
SoundCloud, YouTube artists, they got
Yeah.
they do the exact same thing, look the same.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's K-Chain's hit.
It's let's see here. I work an extended second shift to support my family. Extended hours, but I only have to work Monday through Thursday. I listen to your podcast on my commute, and you don't have a Friday show, and I don't work on Fridays. Perfect. Now comes the snow. We get it up here, usually followed by winds, makes 4 inches into 4-foot drips. But now in the South, you aren't equipped. I get it. I was expecting the Sunline call-in show to resume on Thursday. Then I remembered you had something going on. I really wasn't expecting a Friday show. I figured you would just resume on Monday. My son got sick on the Sunline Hotline show. Blah, 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 blah. Chickens ran out of food on Saturday. Blah, 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 blah. I headed into the farm store to pick up feed and noticed the Sunline Hotline show had posted. Normally I would have left that little gem for my Monday commute, but there I was, and you called and you pronounced my name dead on, even though you were doubting yourself for some reason. I didn't know you were looking for a response, but I did. I sent it as soon as possible, hoping that it would reach you in time, which it did. I'm hoping to do some upgrades to my boat this year, and you are probably aware that the ag industry is a little tight right now. I've ran Lowrance for years, but my M68C could use an upgrade, and why not go all the way to the top? I can't really believe that you chose my name as the winner, and the whole thing seems surreal. I hope this email reaches you. Regardless, you guys have a great show. The chemistry between you two is perfectly balanced, and it flows into all top-notch guests on your program. Thanks for doing what you do. I appreciate every minute as I drive to work and when I drive to the lake. Best wishes, Kevin Youngblunt. So there you have it, Kevin. I'm going to try and call him if we have time at the end of the show. I don't know if we reach him, but very, very cool story. Obviously, the guy is working his tail off to support his kids and family, and could not go to a nicer person. So I'll be shipping that this week.
It appears as though there is a YouTube Pakistani rapper on YouTube named Chain K. I do not see any K chain. There's a lot of information about rappers who have dropped 100K on a chain,
Yeah.
But no rapper named K-Chain.
It's coming out,
that
man.
I've been able to find.
It's coming out. I think it's going to come out very, very soon.
I mean, in Florida, this is kind of dating me. He's still around a little bit, but the big rapper was Flo Rida. Florida.
Yeah.
And I listened to him for years before I realized if you put Flo Rida's name together, it's Florida.
You didn't realize that?
No.
Oh, jeez.
So I would think something witty like K-Chain might have already existed.
Yeah, we're helping out the rapping community.
I wonder if Chris Lane's into that. I don't know what kind of music Chris listens to.
He's all over the place.
What do you think he's into?
All over the place.
Like
the variety.
The red dirt country stuff or the rock?
Classic rock. Country.
I could see him go,
I don't know about pop.
Tell you what, that's a pretty good tune right there.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, coming back with Chris Lane. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The ultimate fishing system starts with Lowrance HDS Live. Upgrade to HDS Live with a Ghost trolling motor, live sight transducer, or Structure Scan 3D, and get up to $500 cash back.
Yeah, you care about gear ratios, inches per turn, and ball bearings, but most importantly, you want reliability and dependability in the equipment you use. Lew's doesn't cut corners when it comes to the gear they build. The new Speed Spool LFS is the best $99 reel in the market. Go see for yourself.
We've paired one of the most iconic hulls in the history of bass boats with a proven lineup of trusted accessories. We're bringing you best-in-class value and performance, leaving others in your wake. Turnkey value, turnkey performance. The Pantera 2 is an overachiever in the 19-foot category. Once you hit the throttle, you'll feel the rush, and there's no looking back.
Kevin, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just filling in for Billy.
I need a 660 shad crankbaits in the Series 5 model.
We're out.
You're not out. You got all kinds of them right there.
We're out.
Kevin, I need 6.
Have a lollipop.
I do not want a lollipop.
Have a lollipop.
Do you have it in sexy shad color?
At Duckett Fishing, we have assembled the top pros in the country to help us design rods to give you a competitive advantage. Castability, strength, durability, action, sensitivity, weight and balance, and consistency. Combine that with the best warranty in the industry, and you have rods that are pro-driven.
Duckett Fishing, pro-driven.
I want to share with you a new product we got coming out from Sunline. This is the FC leader size spools that we have now. We've gotten a lot of requests for this. A lot of you guys use fluorocarbon for leaders only, myself included. And one of the problems you have is when you have a 200-yard spool, that might last you 2, 3, 4 years. You might even lose it before you even get done with the spool. So we've gone to a little smaller spool. These are 50-yard spool sizes. You know, that way you're not holding your line on forever. You can keep your line fresh, use it when you can, stores real easily in the boat. We got all of our popular line sizes that you're used to with our Sniper from 5 to 14 pound. If you guys are looking for a line that you're only tying for a leader, go check out Sunline FC Leader 100% fluorocarbon and give it a try.
Blue Water by TH Marine. Offering LED lighting solutions for your boat, trailer, truck, ATV, and so much more. Engineered and built to be rugged with waterproof and submersible options. Designed for easy installation, Blue Water is available in a variety of colors and styles. All backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Blue Water by TH Marine.
The name SPRO says it all. SPRO stands for Sports Professionals. When you look at the pro staff that SPRO has brought on board over the past 15 years, it's been pretty incredible. I mean, one got it just then. From the development of the rock crawler to the McStick, from the Fat Papa to the Little John series, when you tie a Spro bait on, you know it's been designed by a professional to get the job done. While I travel the country on the Bassmaster Elite Series, I simply can't let the weather be the reason I don't win $100,000. That's why I use AFCO clothing to keep me warm, dry, and protected from whatever Mother Nature wants to throw at me. My season depends on it. My career depends on it. AFCO, any fish, any water.
All of us on the Pro Tournament Trail use Gamakatsu hooks.
Why?
Because they are absolutely the best.
It's not about how many bites you get.
It's how many you put in the boat.
Gamakatsu makes hooks for every fishing style.
We didn't come this far to lose fish.
Did you?
For more information, visit gamakatsu.com.
The Big Bite Baits Kamikaze Swim On is a very unique bait, and it's got a full body but with ribs to give it a bigger profile but not more plastic. It's got a jointed tail that gives it a lot of action, as well as this up and down crawl type trail with holes and ribs in it, so it creates a bubble trail almost. This bait is supposed to be fished upside down or vertical like this on a great for a chatterbait. I prefer it on a swim jig as well, but you can also cut it down and put it on the back of a finesse jig. You know, flip it around for some spotted bass or flipping docks. Anytime you want a small, compact, you know, little trailer for it, this is great for it. So check out the full lineup of swim-ons at bigbitebaits.com.
All right, we are back on a Monday, getting the week kicked off, and we are ready for our special guest who's going to be on live via Skype.
We woke him up. That's the first thing he said. It's his off day. You're making me. This is Kris.
Yeah, that's part of the gig, man.
I guess. Well, he's got these like the back. They got like drinks for him and everything. Like the Skype was set up.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, usually we're like a dimly lit room while Steve Kennedy or Aaron Martins tries to figure out Skype. I mean, Kris just walks in and...
That's how they roll, man. Major League Fishing, taking care of facilitating and making sure that the guys can come on BTL. What's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing.
So let's do this. Let's go to our guest. Kris, you there, man?
Man, we are here.
All right, man, we didn't mean to wake you up. Jeez.
Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Fishermen don't ever sleep in, right?
I didn't think so, but, you know, Matthew over here, he's thinking that you were going to crash till 10 a.m. maybe.
Yeah, no, up bright and early, and excited to be on the show with you guys, man. Kick off the 2020 Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour. It's a big week here on Eufaula with big bass, that's for sure.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your performance. Obviously, today a day off. You finished in 5th, 35 pounds the first day. Pretty amazing first day on a brutally tough day on the water. What are your thoughts?
Man, thoughts are for anybody that's watching back at home and you want to know what happens when you find fish in practice and then they don't bite, or you find fish in practice and they bite. Cold, rainy, muddy. Me and Todd Faircloth were actually getting sleeted on first thing that morning. So that morning was that first period was absolutely fantastic to be a part of. It was neat to watch, you know, those big fish come out like they did. And then the rest of the day, well, it got a little slow.
All right, I have a logistics question. It's just because I don't know. So you guys, you have a time, you take off, 15 minutes before lines in?
Yeah, we will. We're 30 minutes before lines in. So we take off at 7:30 and then lines are in at 8 o'clock.
All right.
So everybody can run and go where they want to go there. Lines in, right at 8 o'clock for everybody.
Okay. So you watched round one. You saw how you were catching them, and Faircloth was there, and there were 4 or 5 boats there. Do you guys take off, like, do you have a call boat number or anything, or is it kind of a shotgun at 7:30? Or because I would imagine you get in a spot like that and multiple guys want to go there, that's a run-to power pole down and be like, sucks to be you when 4 other guys try to get there and you're already power pole down. Like, how does that initial lodge take off then?
Yeah, and that's exactly what me and Todd Faircloth did. One thing about it is it's boat 1, boat 2, boat 3, boat 4.
Okay.
That's based on your points from last year, since last year being the first year.
Okay.
So we're getting all the data, and points are where you take off is odds take off, evens take off. So boat 2 would have been whoever finished second in the AOY points last year. So that's kind of, Edwin Evers won the points title, so he was boat 1 in Group B.
Yep.
This event. So the way they got the points set up, it's that's how you take off in your boat number. So when we got there, Todd was on one side, I was on the other side, both of us power pull down, and that's where we did. That's where we were pretty much the entire first period.
How many other guys tried to come in? Did anyone come in and just see you guys and just like throw their hands up and leave?
No. I think everybody was pretty dang cold. It was pretty laid back. I will say that. I could see that getting pretty heated in other instances in the past because of the amount of money that these guys have of their personal money on the line. I think can draw a lot of that stuff to have heated moments.
Was that your phone?
No, I think it was Skype.
It's Skype. I got something on my computer that hold on. I'm gonna figure this out.
No, we're good.
Just start clicking stuff, Chris. See what happens. Just start clicking stuff.
All in.
That was not a Skype. It was a weird ringtone. It sounded like a cell phone. All right, man. I want to know, from a strategy standpoint, what happened on your second day of competition? Was there strategy involved, or was it just, man, I only caught 1 fish?
I only caught 1 fish. I'll be dead honest with you. It was one of those days where I mentally stayed in it the entire time. And where I fished, I had a lot of bites in practice. The water had come down. Now that you got to take into consideration, this water dropped probably 2 to 3 feet in one day, overnight, the day that we didn't fish. And to me, that was like, okay, I'm going to wreck them. The fish are getting back up kind of where they were. It was starting to warm up, sunny. And I had 1 bite and a 10-pound mudfish. But other than that, there was no strategy, man. I was getting after it. I did not want to lose that day. I wanted the extra day off. I wanted to make it straight to the championship round, as well as the other 5 guys. And I think that adjustment that Major League Fishing made to go to that has really sparked, some good viewing, because these guys aren't letting up. They're not trying to go practice new water. They're getting after it 110% because you want to win that spot. You want to go straight to the championship round. And that's what I did all day. And hats off to Thrift. He made the adjustments to go, and within like 2 minutes 2 minutes into the third period or whatever it was, I went 8 pounds back, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was boiling inside, but at the end of the day, I was still getting after it, trying to make sure that I could try to keep that lead, and I lost it there. But hey, we got another shot in the last qualifying round to make it to the championship round. So, we'll be good to go come tomorrow.
All right, I want to go back to day 1. For the fans out there, what was the biggest factor that contributed to your success on day 1, Chris?
Oh, black and blue jig and power poles. I don't know if you saw the water coming out of there, but it was ripping.
Yeah.
And to not be able to touch your trolling motor, to not be able to do any of that, power pole down and just sit there and fish. And when I picked up, it was kind of funny because there was 2 of us there. Browning was actually in the back. But when you're sitting there and you have that opportunity of, I wanted to go flip the mats, but I didn't want to mess up kind of where Todd was fishing. I wanted to get in those mats because that's where I had the bites in practice. And when I picked my power poles up and the current because it was an eddy in there, when it kind of lifted my boat and pushed me up a little bit, and I made that first pitch in the mat, and it was like a 4.11 and then a 5.11, I'm like, oh man, it's on. And I knew it was neat to see, because when you get into a situation like that, it's kind of like a Florida, Okeechobee, Kissimmee style deal. When you find those mats that have the 5-pounders in it, it is unbelievable, and it just gets your heart pounding. And to watch those big fish come out and to capitalize on them was really a big key too. I mean, I don't think I missed but one fish out of there.
Dude, like, I mean, I've grabbed the line with braid on like 2-pounders and immediately regretted it and stuff. You swung like a 5'11" and then grabbed the braid with your hand. How did that not cut the crap out of your hand, Kris?
Lucky.
I mean, it didn't do that. You know, the braid line cut, and then you don't take care of it, and then it gets kind of red around the edges, and then like a day later you realize, that index finger isn't really bending as good as it should be, and then you have to go get the peroxide and all that.
Yeah, what I learned, I didn't have gloves on, did I?
No. And you were grabbing the line on like these 5-pounders while they were flopping.
If you let the line hit right here on the palm, it doesn't cut right there. But if it slips up and gets in there, yeah, you're going to get it regardless. I didn't want a penalty, though, because it was happening so fast. I'm like, you don't want to slam them in the bottom of the boat. You know, you want to catch them, unhook them, show them off to the camera, and then let them go.
Kris, what's your history on Eufaula?
Wow. Eufaula, you know, I wish I had some pictures for you. Me, Arnie, Bobby, Tom Mann, who is a legend up here, inventor of the jelly worm. He used to throw a kids event here that when we were 8, 9, 10 years old, this was our family vacation. And we'd go to the Braves game after that. And it was one of the most amazing fish camps that I've ever seen and ever been to. It's what we remember as kids. We'd go home with just a van full of stuff, from BB gun shooting contest to casting contest. And he had little strip ponds that were just loaded with bass. And it was so much fun to come up here, not fish on Eufaula, but just right across the way. It was one of the most amazing camps where I met Denny Brower and Jimmy Houston and all the legends, and some of them that still fish. It kind of what really got us into professional bass fishing, I guess, to see. And who was the big flipper guy? I'll never forget it. He flipped. He told me to hold my hat in my hand at my stomach, and I did. And he flipped under my legs, over my head, and landed in my hat. It was amazing. It was a great event. My mom's got some excellent pictures of that. But I fished my very first year of fishing the ever starts here. It's pretty neat because it was the second tournament after Okeechobee, and my 18-year-old son was, I guess, about 6 months old. And I had him in a car seat, and my wife was with me, and I had like a 1985 Ranger, and I just putted up this creek and ended up leading the tournament the first day. And I got a picture of my son in my arm at 6 months old, sitting on the bleachers that I saw that are still here today. And Eufaula's always been a great lake to the family here. You know, I hadn't fished a whole lot on Eufaula, but the times we have fished here, it's been pretty good.
Wow. Is that Tom Mann event kind of one of the reasons why you have started and do your Chris Lane event there on Gunnersville for so many years in a row now? I mean, is that kind of one of the things when you got in that position, you were like, yeah, I want to give other kids what I got?
Yeah, that's the whole reason I started it. I wanted to give back, but more importantly, I wanted kids to experience the excitement and joy that we've had. Now, I've not been able to get it to the level that he had it because I don't have those strip ponds that, you know, kids can just walk around the bank and just catch bass all day long. But at the end of the day, they get to go home with a lot of great stuff from great sponsors. And we're going to try to continue to grow that in partnership with Major League Fishing and, get it to where kids can get fired up about fishing and take home the means that they need to go fishing with.
Apparently your kid likes to drive fast around Lake Gunnersville is what we heard. We had someone else from Gunnersville was like, man, we see that Lade boat just ripping all around the lake.
Yeah, he's actually, my son, he's fishing out of the classic winning boat that I won the classic in 2012. So he doesn't have a big new boat or nothing like that, but he's got a good boat. It's wrapped in power pole, and He actually did really well last year. I think he got all my mojo yesterday because he caught over 20 pounds there in Lake Guntersville and finished 6 out of 250. So I was really proud of him.
Was that a conscious effort to keep that boat and say, I'm keeping this boat, it's the classic winning boat, or is it something that just kind of happened?
No. I gave it to my dad, wanted him to have it. And, when my son got old enough to where he could start chasing his professional career, then, we'd hand it off to him, and that's what we did. So it'll stay in the family.
Yeah, there's a number of those. I know Rojas has one of his. Does he have the record boat? I think he sold it and then got it back, and his kid fished out of it for a little bit. So a couple of those guys. I still have that 18.5 footer. I won that club tournament out of it.
Yeah,
and I said, forever. I won that $200. This thing's going in the museum.
All right. Hey, Kris, I'm curious, in other professional sports, a lot of people, they don't like watching the scoreboard. And what I mean by that is when it gets close to playoff time and situations occur, they would rather just take care of business of what they need to do for their team or their individual efforts. Are you a score tracker watcher? Is that important to your game? Do you make adjustments based upon what's happening? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I'm not a scoreboard guy. I don't watch Score Tracker. I mean, I might look at it, throughout the day to say, hey, how's Bobby doing? Or, just look at some of the guys that you kind of root for a little bit, or, to see how much better that day is. But as far as for me and my fishing style, I don't try to do what anybody else does. I try to go out there and do what I do, and I win on my own and I lose on my own. And, that bites me in the butt sometimes, but at least I try to learn every day. So when I make mistakes, like yesterday when you only caught one fish, I can make those adjustments, go through the 25 years that I've been doing this to go back into my memory bank and figure out what I need to do to be better on the water the next day.
All right, a lot of people on the instant feedback want to know your thoughts on the format change with the 2-pound minimum. What are your thoughts?
Man, I'd love to know their thoughts. I think it's fantastic. I think that it doesn't matter to me, and this is one of the greatest scenarios. I think the emphasis is on the scoreable bass. Is it 1 pound or 2 pounds? I think the emphasis is scoreable. Is it a scoreable bass? It's like a guy throwing a 60-yard pass down to the end zone, and the guy catches it, and he lands his 1 foot on the out-of-bounds line. It doesn't count. I mean, you get back and you do it again. So if it's a 115 or a 15-ouncer, that to me doesn't matter. I think it's good for the fans. I think it's good for our core fans that really want to watch those big fish. And Matt, I throw this back to you. Do you like watching a guy? I mean, I love flipping a black and blue jig and catching 5-pounders. I don't like to catch 1 pound, 2 ounce, 1 pound, 2 ounce, 1 pound, 3 ounce. That's me, So, I mean, what...
Hey, I asked you a question about boat flipping 5-pounders, not boat flipping 1-pounders. So there's the answer to your question right there, Kris. How much of a difference did it make, though? 1 pound, 2 pound? How many did you have to throw back? How much of a difference in your group now that your group has kind of fished the 2 days? Did you talk to the other guys? Or, I mean, I don't know what you're allowed to talk to on that, but were there guys saying, man, I caught 21-pounders that I had to throw back? Or was it one of those deals where there weren't a lot of bites to be had just because of how this whole thing shook out with the weather and the conditions?
Yeah, I mean, we dealt with torrential flooding, rising up. So the conditions, I mean, were not the best for fishing. But, I mean, we all deal with that throughout the entire country. So was there a lot of non-scoreable fish caught? I don't think so. I mean, with my strategy coming into an event, I'm fishing for something. I'm fishing baits that if the one's going to bite it, it's going to be a 2-pounder. I'm not there throwing a little Ned rig off of a point or something trying to catch a pound spotted bass. I mean, that's just not the way that I fish. I don't think that's the way people, people like to see fish catches. Absolutely. I caught one non-scoreable, and that was yesterday, and it was a 113. But there again, if it was a 1-pounder and I caught a 13-ouncer, that's a non-scoreable too. So as a competitor, we're all playing the same game in that a 2-pounder is a scoreable bass. So if you catch a 2-pounder, it's scoreable. If you catch a 115, it's not. Same thing if it was a 1 pound, You catch a 15-ouncer, it's non-scorable. We're all playing the same game.
Yeah. All right, I have a question about the water temp on day one in the area where the water was coming in. What was the water temp there, and was there a big difference compared to other areas?
I didn't have my graph turned on, just to let you know.
Wow.
I didn't pay attention. When you deal with a cold front like that, the water temp was probably 60 degrees. That's kind of, 58, 60 degrees kind of out throughout the whole lake. I mean, you had the cold front come through, the water was coming out. It's probably warmer in that back pond because it heats up higher in that shallow water. It's probably warm coming out there. But I just, with that many boats and that many things happening in that area, I'll have a tendency to kind of turn things off. And I ended up catching a 3.5 pounder, I want to say it was, right at my trolling motor on a chatterbait. So if I had my graph on, would that have mattered? I don't know. I didn't have it turned on at that moment.
How does that work in this format? Everyone that went past that area or saw that you were in there knows you and Todd caught those fish there in the first period, struggled the rest of the day. You have your day off. Now it's game on back for day two. I mean, you've dealt with that last year and this year, but there's a lot more information for the guys looking at it on where these fish are getting caught. You saw a lot of areas, and I talked about this on Friday. There's a lot of specific areas in Major League Fishing that you guys are kind of learning about under this format as to, you need to be here and you can kick everyone's ass. So on day two, how does that work? Could you go back and be like, no, dude, I sat here day one. I want this spot back, or are guys running there? Do you have talks about it off? I mean, you've got to have a lot more guys fishing close to each other, knowing that other guys caught them their situations.
Yeah, well, when you deal with, you pull out of the boat ramp, and when I say you're dealing with a torrential flood, I'm talking torrential floods. I'm talking everything is orange. You can see it. And then you see this pocket that's got a line of clean water. Who's not going to pull in there? With the format, with everything that, with the information that's out there, I go back to dropping $5,000 per an event is a lot different, and because it's your money, and it's a lot different than having the guy next to you. You're trying to feed your family. We're doing the same thing here, but Major League Fishing has raised us to a whole new professional status. When you talk about professionalism and not paying entry fees, I mean, that is a big time deal. And I think that has eased a little bit of tension amongst the anglers when you get in situations like that. Now, don't get me wrong. We all want to beat each other bad. And at the end of the day, you understand a little bit, and work together. I wouldn't say work together as much as you kind of understand, hey, let's figure out how this is going to work, instead of, you get out of my spot right now. That's bullshit. What are you doing in here?
Yeah.
Because you have that, you have the investment, I would say, of your own personal money.
Yeah.
It's your own personal money that's in there. That's what has caused some division amongst the anglers in the past.
Are you saying now that there might be a scenario where Tommy Biffle waves someone into his area?
I was on the front end of that in Toledo Bend. I pulled into an area, and it was my rookie year. What are you doing in here? Yeah, you get out of here. I said, Tommy, I'm just coming around the corner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, I was like, man, sorry, Tommy, but you're right. I know how he is. But yeah, Tommy's been nice.
He just wave you in. Come on, there's plenty of laydowns in here for both of us, Chris.
That's never happening. Never happened.
Well,
All right.
Go ahead.
No, go, Chris.
I was going to say the one thing that you look at, and I've noticed it on Gunnersville, and you look at some of the record-setting BFLs that are out there now. That's where I started, was in the BFL. Fantastic grassroots program. With them lowering the entry fees, guys are getting back to having fun, and that's the one thing I've stressed to my son. He's worried about, well, if I get a check, how much do I split with the guy that I'm with and the big bag? And I said, look, it's not about the money, man. You got to go out there and you got to go fishing. And that's why you see the BFLs at record-setting people getting in, because they feel and they know as a young kid, as a college kid, if he makes it to the professional level, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Who wants to go fish for $100,000 and it not cost them a thing? They've made it to that professional status, and I think that has a really big impact on the sport.
All right, quick bit of advice from the instant feedback for Scott in Virginia. He wants to know, when do you choose a lane changer over a whopper plopper and vice versa?
Weather conditions on that 100%. If you got chop on the water, throw the whopper plopper. If it's slick calm, make sure you tie a cinch knot on the lane changer so that the line comes out straight off of that, and that's when you throw the lane changer, and that's going to be really good at the next event, I hope. Opie.
All right, can you talk a little bit about the setup for both of those? He wants to know your setup.
Absolutely. 7.3. I throw a 7.3 Bass Pro Shops rod and reel with a 8:3:1 gear ratio on the whopper plopper, and I throw it on 50-pound braided line because you want to make really, really long casts. And with a 7.3 rod, you can make those long casts, but you can still penetrate the hooks. And braided line is a must because you're reeling that thing fast. With the lane changer, you want a 7-foot medium heavy. You want a 6:3:1 gear ratio, and you want to throw it on 17-pound monofilament. The reason you want monofilament is because it floats, and braided line will get wrapped around the impeller, and braided line you can see a mile away. Monofilament is the 17-pound or 20-pound on that is all you need, and you'll be ready to go.
All right, real quick, I think the press release is coming out soon. We received word you're going to be doing some stuff with BD Baits. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, throw in BD hard baits. Me and my son, they're right there in Gunnersville. We live there, and talked with Larry at BD Baits and came with an agreement. Actually got a bait that we designed that cannot wait to get out. It's in the makings, and it's going to be fantastic. It's one that I've thrown that my son kind of gave me the idea of. I put the efforts into it, and we've got a pretty cool bait coming out. But the BD baits, that come out of the package with the hard baits, the crank baits, and the BD shads and stuff like that, we're going to be throwing those this year in areas where we can catch fish on them.
All right, very nice. Last question. What do you got to do to get the W the remainder of the week, man?
I need those fish to go back to what they were doing in practice. It was fantastic. I don't think I see the pump coming on anytime soon. We don't have in the forecast any kind of major rain, but just really getting dialed in on finding what works. I think that with that water coming down, like I said, it came way down. I actually hit one with my trolling motor yesterday where I'd already thrown my bait 3 times off of a point. I'm sitting there reeling a chatterbait, throw a spinnerbait, throw this. And I'm just like, man, I know there's fish there. And I just kept going with my trolling motor. And I went up around the corner. And when I went around the point, I hit a log, 3-pounder jumps out right in front of the boat. And I'm going, yeah, right. No, why didn't he bite? So making those few adjustments that I need to make as an individual to go out there and put myself in contention to win.
All right, man. Wish you the best of luck. Thanks for taking time out early in the morning on your off day, and wish you nothing but the best, man, the remainder of the week.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Chris Lane live via Skype from Lake Eufalua. And that's a cool thing we're doing, Matthew, with Tricia Milford, the media PR person for Major League Fishing. Got that set up, and greatly appreciate the opportunity to talk to some of the guys on their off day from the BPT events.
What's also interesting is that's the second guy who has talked about the kind of laid-back atmosphere. I mean, it's kind of a juxtaposition here because you've got a lot of people. MLF likes to push the heart-throbbing, non-stop, intense, competitive action. But you've got Kris talking about, well, he's still competitive, and it's still exciting when he's catching them. There's a little bit more mellow vibe against it because individually they don't have as much invested as they did with the $5,000 entry fee.
Yeah.
And on that. And then Ike Anelli also talked about on Ike Live the lack of stress that he has going into it.
Yeah.
Without it. So there's two guys who have been in the mix as far as the major championships and Angler of the Years and stuff, kind of talking about the little different vibe it is going into it with the Major League Fishing style as opposed to the Elite. There's a bunch of guys on the Elite Series right now whose hearts are because there's a bunch of guys that have a chance to win this thing now. Going into the last, right now as we're doing this live, there's 4 or 5 hours left to fish.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Brian Thrift just jumped right in there, didn't he?
Well, did that really surprise you?
No, not at all. Some people on the instant feedback, they didn't catch the beginning of the show. They want to know, how did you do? Is it pronounced Swepco?
Swepco. SWEPCO.
Yeah.
I did okay.
He won, everybody. So, and found his wallet.
I'll have
and
the video
too.
out on the BTL YouTube channel. We got to get that up and going. That's this week's job.
It's not on me.
Well, I've got issues with that intro thing. I'm not happy with my intro. Last year I did the Bass Boot Camp and it was do with the Bass Boot Camp logo popped up and stuff. And I don't want I want to be oh, this is my series, but I also don't just want to be oh, look at me, I catch big fish in my intro. So I want to make it kind of exciting, but not I don't want to go BTL 2012 with the hard rock music and the blaring, but I also don't want to go Greenpeace. So I want to go somewhere where it's okay, this is interesting. I haven't been able to find that happy medium, so I'm still working on the intro and exit. So once I get that,
you'll get it done.
I've got the year, the last year in review and what's going on this year. Then we've got one with Jimmy Houston that's still coming out. It's going to be awesome. It's done and ready. And then I got the Swebco MLF style event coming out. So those are going to be the first 3.
All right, very cool. Can't wait to see that. Did you watch any of the XFL?
Yeah, I watched
Did you like it?
A half of the Dallas game last night. Obviously not as into it with Landry Jones being out for the first week. Really liked the facial hair on Bob Stoops. Gives him kind of a rugged look.
Just put on some weight.
Hopefully their offense starts running a little bit better once they got the Landry Stoops connection back in action next week. I do like that they have the over-under right there next to the score right there, just for the degenerate gamblers.
And there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
Do you like the cameras on the field with the mics?
I like that the coaches, that you can hear the coaches talking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I do like it. And it's not gimmicky at all. I like the kickoff.
Yeah. I like the extra point after the touchdown.
You can go 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. There's some cool stuff going on. Vince got it together, man, with the XFL.
Does this last more than a season?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it does. I think I was a little disappointed in the crowd at the Dallas game. They're playing where the Rangers play.
Yeah, but the whole lower bowl was packed.
Yeah. Some of the stadiums that they're playing in, nice confines where you can get,
15,000 people in there and make it look.
Yeah.
That's why I was like playing hockey in those tiny ones that only had like
8 but when it's
bleachers.
jam-packed,
and you're like, oh, it's sold out. Look at that, sold out. Then you play in one of the big ones and you're like, yeah, no one cares.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm definitely going to watch some more.
What's the most people you've ever coached in front of, Jeffries? Have you ever walked in and been like, dang?
Probably 1,000 people.
Just packed?
Yeah.
You like coaching in those games more than the empty ones, or does it matter once you get into it?
It doesn't matter because you're totally focused on what's going on the floor. So it's pretty cool, though. Cool thing. All right, tomorrow, good show. Cliff Prince, first day of practice on the Chick.
He's fishing right now.
Yeah, so he's got a lot going on.
And then he weighs in, and then they drive, 7 hours to Chickamauga, and then start practice tomorrow.
But he said he's in, so we'll see. We may have a pinch hitter, but I don't think so.
Chris Lane and Kris Prince and Kris Prather.
It's a lot of Chris's. It's good stuff, though. All right, I want to thank Chris Lane for taking time out of his off day, being on the show. Once again, thank you to Trisha Milford for getting that set up. And then tomorrow we'll be back. And then Wednesday, once again, 10 names on the list. They're ready. They're coming at you. NPFL, Al McCullough, going to be on the show We shall see. What else, Matthew?
Nothing. I was watching a movie last night, and I kind of just like rolled over on the couch, and I think I popped a rib out of place.
Did you watch the Oscars?
No. I was watching the original Bad Boys.
Jeez. The foreign film from South Korea just swept everything.
No, it hurts.
It's not even in English.
Like if I look at you and then I look at the camera, it hurts like my second rib from the bottom.
Yeah, the TV had nothing to do with that, man. Nothing.
Second rib from the bottom. I heard it like pop.
Nothing. All right. Get that taken care of. Go. I don't know what you do with a broken rib.
It's not broken. I think I dislocated it
you can't.
while watching a movie on the couch.
Well, do you know where your wallet is?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, back at you tomorrow. Enjoy all the live action with the Bassmaster Elite Series and Major League Fishing today. Back tomorrow, same time. Everybody stay tuned. We're out of here.